I used 1,370,500 credit card points for over $66,000 worth of luxury flights and hotels this year, including this $11,000 first class flight with Emirates. And I'm gonna break it down in this video exactly how I did it so you can do it too. First, almost all the points I used were American Express points, but I also used some Chase points as well. These two programs, in my opinion, are the best programs for earning points to redeem for luxury travel. So the first question you're probably thinking is, how did I even get that many points to begin with? Well, let me explain. In 2020 and 2021, I opened a lot of American Express business and personal cards because they're giving out crazy high sign-up bonuses. And I was getting targeted these offers in the mail. I opened an American Express Platinum card and 2 American Express Business Platinum cards. And then I opened an American Express Business Gold card. The sign-up bonuses for all these cards combined was over 400,000 points. Yes, you have to meet the minimum spend to get the sign-up bonus, but that's my normal everyday spend anyways in the business. I also referred some of these cards to friends and family, and when they signed up and got approved, I got 15,000 points for each referral I did. I also opened 3 Chase Inc. Business Preferred cards, and each card had a 100,000 point sign-up bonus. So that's 300,000 points right there as well. Also, for the last 3 years before when I booked all these flights, I've been using my Amex Gold card for almost all my purchases every day because I get 4 times points on grocery stores and restaurants. That's really 90% of the money I spend. So with all these large sign-up bonuses and strategic spending over the years, I amassed almost 1.5 million points. And although all my travel happened this year in 2023, almost all of it I booked in advance in 2022 in order to find availability for Saver Awards to get the most value. So my first trip was in February of 2023 to Punta Cana. I paid for those flights in cash because it was pretty close and it weren't that expensive. However, for the hotel, I wanted to stay at an all-inclusive resort. And the hotel I picked was the Hilton La Romana in Punta Cana. So I booked 10 nights at this hotel. Each night cost 80,000 points. However, Hilton has a perk where every 5th night you book on an award booking is free. So I only had to pay for 8 nights, but I stayed for 10 nights. 8 nights at 80,000 Hilton points is 640,000 Hilton points. However, American Express transfers a 1-to-2 ratio to Hilton points. That means for every American Express point that I transfer to Hilton, I'll get 2 Hilton points. So I only needed half that amount, or 320,000 American Express points, to get my 640,000 Hilton points to be 10 nights at the Hilton La Romana all-inclusive. Now the cash price for the same 10 nights was $6,426.70. So to calculate our redemption value, cash amount, and divided by the amount of points we used. And in this case, it was only 320,000 Amex points. So $6,426.70 divided by 320,000 points, that means we got a 2 cents per point redemption value. Now the next trip was just the following month in March of 2023, where I went on a 2-week trip with my fiance to Spain. We went to Madrid, Barcelona, and Malaga. I transferred 85,000 American Express points to Iberia, where I was able to book round-trip business class flights on a live flat seat from Bogota to Madrid for only 85,000 points and $277.70 in taxes and fees. The cash price for that same flight round trip would have been $2,863.90. So we take that $2,863.90 and subtract it from the actual taxes and fees that we paid, which was $277.70, then divide that by the 85,000 miles we used, we get a total redemption value of 3.04 cents per point, which is a pretty great redemption. Then I found some last-minute award availability for Emirates first class, flying from New York to Milan. I knew that was a bucket list luxury experience, so I decided to book it. I transferred 85,000 Amex points to my Emirates account, and I got 85,000 Emirates miles. I then booked a one-way flight from JFK to Milan, and that was 85,000 miles and only $102.80 in taxes and fees. The cash price for the same flight was $11,138.80 one way. That gave me a redemption value of 12.98 cents per point, which is insane on the amount of value I got for those points. However, I was out in Houston, so I just booked a cheap economy flight from Houston to New York, also known as a repositioning flight, so that I could fly this luxury experience. Now, for the flight back from Spain, I transferred 62,500 points from Amex to Iberia and booked a one-way flight from Madrid to Dallas, as Iberia doesn't fly to Houston, and I only paid $310.67 in taxes and fees. Cash price for this one-way flight was $4,038. So my total redemption value for this was 5.96 cents per point. And then I booked a cheap flight cash on a short hop from Dallas to Houston. Now the next trip was in May of 2023, where I went on a 3-week trip to France. I visited Paris, Strasbourg, Colmar, Nice, Monaco. So it was a great trip, and I'm gonna break down how I did it. So when I booked these flights back in May of 2022, American Express actually had a transfer bonus bonus of 25% more points if I transferred their points to Flying Blue, which is the award program for Air France and KLM. I was able to transfer 155,000 American Express points to Flying Blue, and that became 193,000 Flying Blue miles. I used that to book round-trip business class flights on Air France from Bogota to Paris, and these were live flat seats once again. However, the taxes and fees were higher on this flight. It was $511.90. Cash price was just $2,978.96. My redemption value here was only a 1.59 cents per point, which wasn't really a great redemption, to be honest. I just had miles to blow. And then I transferred 72,000 Amex points to Singapore Airlines, and I booked a one-way flight business class live flat from Houston to Manchester on Singapore Airlines. The taxes and fees for this was only $5.60, while the cash fare for this one-way flight would have been $2,715.80. So my total value at redemption here was 3.76 cents per point. And then during that Air France transfer bonus, I transferred over 54,000 Amex points to Flying Blue to get 67,500 Flying Blue miles, and I booked a one-way flight from Paris to Houston in live flat business class once again. Flying Blue has higher taxes and fees, and for this one-way flight, I had to pay $356.87 in taxes and fees. However, cash price for this flight was crazy high. One-way and Air France business class, $4,682.85. So my redemption value was really good for this flight, 0.01 cents per point redemption. Then in August, I did a family trip for my mom's 65th birthday. We decided to go to Madrid and Toledo in Spain, Lisbon, Porto and Madeira in Portugal, and Marrakesh, Morocco. This was a 3-week trip once again. So I had to book for a family of 4. This is a little different. I had to book for my mom, my dad, my sister, and myself. Once again, this promotion was for 25% extra points, and that really made a big difference. I transferred 362,000 American Express points to Flying Blue, and with the 25% transfer bonus, it became 452,500 Flying Blue miles. I booked 4 round-trip tickets in business class live flat with Air France, LAX Los Angeles to Madrid with a stopover in Paris. The taxes and fees round trip for 4 people was $1,726.40. However, if I was to pay cash for all 4 round trip tickets, it would have been $24,332.64. So my redemption value on this booking was 6.24 cents per point, which is a really good redemption. Here's a pro tip. A lot of times on Flying Blue, if you fly directly to Paris, the amount of points you need is going to be higher. For example, I've seen Houston to Paris, it's 15,000 less miles to fly to Madrid, stopping in Paris, than just to fly directly to Paris. I don't know why, but it works. So if you want to try to fly and save some points and you just need to get to Europe, try flying to a different city outside of Paris, but fly with Air France, and you can get a really good redemption that way. Now in Madrid, my family and I stayed 4 nights at the Thompson Madrid Hotel. I highly recommend this hotel if you go to Madrid. It's a newer built hotel. It's a luxury 5-star, super nice hotel right in the heart of the tourist areas that you want to be at. So for 4 nights, I needed 2 rooms. I needed a double room with 2 beds for me and my sister, and then I booked a regular king room for my parents. However, since I'm a globalist of Hyatt, they upgraded my king room to a junior suite for my parents. Now at the time when I booked it, it was still a category 3 Hyatt hotel, and it only needed 15,000 points per night per room. Now they've upgraded that hotel to a category 4, because that's just how nice it is. Now it's 20,000 points per night, but it's still a great redemption. So a room with 2 double beds for me and my sister, at the time of booking, 448 euros per night. So for 4 nights, and then you add in the city and occupancy taxes, came out to 1,913 euros, and at the time the conversion was $2,037. Now the junior suite, which my parents stayed in, was going for 681 euros a night at the time of booking. 4 nights with the city and occupancy taxes, it came out to 2,913 euros just for 4 nights in that junior suite. Convert that to dollars, and that's $3,103 just for 4 nights at this hotel. Total cash price for those 2 rooms would have been $5,140 just for 4 nights. However, so since I was able to book at 15,000 points per night per room, I just needed 60,000 points per room for all 4 nights, or 120,000 points total. Now, Hyatt is a transfer partner of Chase, so I just needed 120,000 Chase points transferred to my Hyatt account, and I got 120,000 Hyatt points. 5,140 divided by 120,000, that gave me a 4.28 cents per point redemption, which is really great for hotels, because a lot of times hotels have a more standard redemption rate of 2 to 3 cents per point. Airlines and luxury flights, you can get way higher. Then in October, I went down to Bogota, Colombia on sort of a last minute booking. So in August of 2023, American Express was actually having a transfer bonus of 15% more points to Avianca Life Miles. Now, Avianca is the national carrier for Colombia. So I transferred over 31,000 Amex points to Avianca, and that became 35,650 Avianca Life Miles. I booked a round trip ticket in economy from Houston to Bogota, Colombia, being flown on a United aircraft. It was a route flown by United, but I booked on Avianca Life Miles because they're a transfer partner and Star Alliance partner with United. So I just booked 2 months in advance, and it was 35,000 miles and $126.14 in taxes and fees. Cash price for the same United flight round trip was $1,001. So I got a value of 2.8 cents per point. And then while in Bogota, I stayed in the Grand Hyatt Bogota, which I highly recommend. Super nice, luxurious hotel. And I stayed 2 nights there at 12,000 points per night, which once again, I transferred 24,000 Chase points to my Hyatt account. And that gave me 24,000 points, which was enough to book 2 nights. And being a globalist, I was upgraded from a standard room to a junior suite. And at the time, a junior suite for 2 nights of all the taxes and fees was $697.70. That means with that 24,000 points, I got a 2.9 cents per point redemption. So for all these luxury flights and hotels, only spent $3,418.08 out of pocket, when it should have cost $65,775. As you can see, I got some insane value from these points and travel hacking, able to save over $60,000 on my vacations. If this is something you're interested in doing, I've created a comprehensive travel hacking course that goes over everything from A to Z, step by step, and I'll put the link in the description below. If you learned anything from this video or got any value, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more travel hacking tips, as well as personal finance and real estate.